Christmas!
I never really brought it up in my favorite Pokemon's list I made a couple videos back, but I actually really like Houndour and Houndoom's design. They both look so cool, and Dark and Fire types still remain to be some of my favorite typings in the entire game. And when I first saw these things looking through Pokedexes and researching for my playthroughs of the early generations of Pokemon, like I really wanted to use them. But there were a few reasons why I haven't been able to actually just integrate them into any team, unfortunately, and that's kind of what I want to discuss here for a couple minutes. Now, in my first playthrough of Gold, obviously I went with Cyndaquil because Typhlosion is still probably one of the best things in sliced bread. But when I was going through my playthrough, I had a horrible realization about the location that you get Houndour, and that is that it comes very late into the Kanto region. And obviously by that point in the game, you've already gone through the Elite Four once, and you're doing the second set of the gym leaders. Now, what does that mean? Well, most of the trainers and the gym leaders that you come to fight are actually like 20 plus levels higher than what you would meet the wild Pokemon over in the Kanto region. Because in the Kanto region, if you're unaware, the Pokemon there kind of scale down to almost as if like you were just freshly starting out in that region. So you still find like level 2, level 3 Pokemon despite you being technically halfway through the game. So it's extremely hard to integrate Houndour into any sort of game unless I were to get it traded in after restarting the game or something like that. But it would take a lot of effort to get him into a Pokemon Gold playthrough, unfortunately. And despite being in the actual main Pokedex in Generation 4, you don't actually get access to Houndour, at least, until you get Houndoom and breed it, in which case at that point you've already beaten the game. They only come in the post-game. Now, they sort of fixed that in Platinum, where you're able to actually get Houndour earlier in the game without having to go through the post-game stuff. But I still haven't played Platinum yet, and it's just been something that's kind of avoided me at this point in time. Now, when it came to something like Generation 6, where you could actually get them at a decently early time, my first playthrough, I unfortunately went with Greninja, and I also had a Malamar on my team covering my 2 Dark type, and I also had a Charizard as my secondary starter that I picked. So that covered my fire. So it was going to be extremely redundant if I chose Houndour in that playthrough. So he got, unfortunately, shafted on that end as well. And I kind of feel bad because I really do want to use them. There's lots of different Pokemon that I want to use. It's just, it's been so frustrating. And I can't, like I said, I can't even blame Houndour for all this because, like I said, I really want to use it, but it's just such an inconvenience to try to implement it into a team. I know there's people that actually like restart a new team when they go into Kanto for their second half of the playthrough for Gold, Silver, and all that stuff, but I can't see myself doing that, especially not replacing Houndour with Typhlosion. Like, nah, I like Houndour, but Typhlosion's better. But regardless though, like it's not just Houndour too. There's lots of different Pokemon that I either like really like their design, but they just don't mesh well with a team, or they just take a super long time to reach their full potential. That there's lots of these Pokemon that I just haven't had a chance to still use after all this time too. Jeez, something like Kingdra, I would love to use a Kingdra, but man, it's so complicated to try to get it. And it's not even necessarily complicated, it's just that I don't have anyone to trade with. But anywho, someday I will get a chance to use that Houndour somehow. And like I said, there's lots of other Pokemon I will eventually come to use. Like I said, I used a Lantern very recently. I had a lot of fun with it and didn't still quite make my list, but regardless. And who knows, maybe that's a new video kind of idea right there, stirring right there. Pokemon that I haven't used but really wanna Anywho, I'll see you all next time. Happy holidays.